Hey guys, how you doing? Just want to do a live. I hadn't done one for a couple days, and wanted to let you know a couple things that I've been learning. So one of the things is something really cool that I think you can process and kind of take away, use today. And the other one is something that I'm personally learning that I still think has application, but I wanted to kind of let you know where I'm at. So the first one was this. I was on a call last week, and somebody made this comment that I thought was brilliant. They said, you know, every behavior you have is a solution to a problem that you believe that you have. And so they said, you know, if you look through your life and good behaviors, bad behaviors, they're all solutions, which was pretty profound for me because I began to think about some of my bad habits. I would even call them sinful habits. You know, sometimes we generic that up and call it struggles. But like I was thinking about my sinful habits, and I thought, oh, every sinful habit I have is a solution to a problem that I believe I have, which I think is a really powerful concept, right? Because then I can begin to go, okay, instead of just trying to make that bad habit go away, I need to figure out what is it that I think the problem is that thing solves, and then dig into that a little bit, right? So that if I were to say, I'm going to use one for most guys, you know, say I had a lust problem or a pornography problem, what I could do is go, okay, that's a solution to something. So what is it a solution to? And then dig into, man, what's the problem? Is it that I feel alone? Is it that I need a physical, you know, kind of exertion of some form? But I think it was interesting because I think if you think about the bad habits you have, overeating, drinking, gossip, laziness, apathy, anger, instead of just going, oh, I'm bad for that, go, man, what is the problem that I think that's solving, so that I can go dig into that problem a little bit and maybe have God, through the power of his Holy Spirit, his word and community, help change me in that. So that's one idea for you that I want to give you. The other one is just kind of a breakthrough that I'm having in my coaching. So some of you guys have been following that, and I've contacted about 350 people. I've had somewhere around 20 discovery calls, which are about hour and a half long calls where I just help people with some coaching. Had another about 20 calls with other coaches. So I'm at this rate, right, where somebody said the other day, one of the coaches, they're like, hey, as much as you're connecting, as much work as you're doing, they're like, you should have 10 or 15 high-paying clients, okay, already, and you don't. They're like, there's something going wrong. And at first, you know, I kind of wanted to defend myself and go, no, I'm doing everything I can. I'm just waiting on God's favor. And I do think there's a favor of God piece to it, right? Like I am waiting on God's timing. But today, one of my coaches helped me with this. They said, well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about what you're doing and how that's going. Here's what I realized. In my coaching up to this point, I've been trying to be helpful. Now, there's a part of me that was a pastor for 27 years who's like, that's my job, was to help people. What I didn't realize that my coach called out in me is he said, Mike, you're trying to be helpful as a way of stroking your ego. And he said, not in some way of like, oh, I'm some great guy. He goes, but oftentimes we want to be helpful. We want to be affirmed. Hey, look, I'm helping that other person because it's where we find our worth. And he said, what I would guess you're doing in your coaching sessions, you're getting right up to the point where you feel like you've helped the other person, and instead of staying with it for the sake of the other person, you're satisfied because your ego is stroked and you're stopping short. You're not calling them to action. You're not calling them to work further. You're not saying, hey, listen, I know you've got an insight, but an insight's not a breakthrough. An insight is something you get out of a book. A breakthrough is something you get that stays with you in life. And so what he was helping me see is that my helpfulness was getting in the way of me actually helping people. It was causing me to get right up to the point where they were beginning to have a breakthrough, and then I was backing off because I got what I needed, and I felt good and affirmed as a coach, and I was leaving them there. One of the things he challenged me is that if you really want to help people, he said you have to take them past the point of insight, past the point of you feeling helpful, and go, okay, what are you going to do? How are you going to do it? And how can I walk with you in this to help you? And so I want you to think about places in your life where maybe you're being very, very helpful, and it may be your helpfulness, if you really dug into it, is about you feeling good about yourself. But if you really, truly want to be helpful, then you've got to go further. The way that we talk about it in coaching, and it's true, is you have to be willing to be a disruption in the lives of the people you love. Because if you don't disrupt their life, it's going to keep going the way it is, and you haven't helped them at all. But if you love them enough to interrupt, to disrupt, to say, hey, I know you want to stop there. I know you feel good about it, but what are you going to do? How is this going to be different? And here was a great question for me, and I'm going to start using it even today. I've got a coaching call, is, are you tired of doing it alone? Coaching, and in a lot of ways, discipleship ministry, pastoring is, are you tired of doing it alone? You know, a new insight by yourself isn't going to change anything. Are you tired of doing it alone? Are you ready for a partner? Yeah, you are? Okay, great, man. Let's work together. let's study the Bible together. Let me coach you. Let me train you. Let me equip you. Whatever it is for you and your circumstance, relationship, it's that idea that, look, I don't just want you to have an aha moment. I then want to walk with you in your aha moment to life change, to something being different. And so those are two things, right? One is that idea of, man, my habits are a solution to a problem that I believe I have. So if I have a bad habit, I need to go figure out what the problem is and come up with a different solution and work with Jesus, Mark chapter 7, to dig into my heart to say, why does that problem exist? The second one is, for me, quit stopping at helpfulness and start being helpful. Quit stopping at, I feel good that I've helped you, and now call you into, are you tired of doing it alone? Do you want a partner? How can I help you with that? I actually believe that this is going to be one of the critical moments that changes my coaching from coaching to be nice to actually coaching as a business. Is, hey, I'm not going to stop because you've affirmed me as a coach. I'm going to press in until you get what you need so your life is different. That's worth something. That's worth paying the dollars for. And so, man, I hope you have a great day. It's beautiful out here in Colorado. We had a couple days of rain, and now the weather is super again. We had David out for a few days. That was amazing. Love having him out here. So I love you. I'm going to keep sharing things I'm learning. Please ask questions. Please make comments. Please let me know if you're listening. That'll be huge. And take care.